Hi, I'm Kim Coco, author of the book It Just Makes Sense, 7 Principles for a Joyful and Stress-Free Life. I'm here today to talk about 10 ways to change your perspective instantly. Well, you think, why do I need to change my perspective in the first place? And that really comes down to one word: emotions. Emotions are a great tool that our body has built in intrinsically to give us feedback on where we're at in our lives. And many of you might think, oh, emotions, they're that ooey gooey feeling kind of thing. And I actually have had that given to me as a perspective through many years of sports. It's like, you're an athlete, suck it up. But that's not always the case. We don't have to shove those emotions down, because really they're there to help us. They're there to give us guidance. They're there to give us some direction on maybe what action to take next. That being said, if you find yourself feeling a negative emotion, which on one end of a spectrum would be fear, you might feel something maybe a little less traumatic as fear. You might feel anger or blame or frustration or guilt, just maybe a feeling of being unsettled. Anytime you're feeling a negative emotion, it's actually detracting the energy that you have to take action in your daily life, to attend to your kids or your family or your job, or just maybe enjoy life more fully. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have on the other end love and various positive emotions that go along with that. Joy, satisfaction, contentment, peace, understanding. And the goal is to find a way to move from a negative emotion over to a positive one, because those positive ones help build on the energy reserve that you might have already in your being, and it can also help you just explore life a little more freely. It can give you a boost. I mean, I'm sure you've woken up on a day where you feel really good or you're excited about something, and you're, hopping into the shower and eating your breakfast and, maybe skipping your way to work, and you can't wait. Or you probably had days where you don't even want to get out of bed because you have that dreaded meeting or a family member you might have to see or whatever it is. Feels totally different. Essentially, those emotions tell us how we are in relation to those circumstances or people. And if it's negative, the emotion's negative, we're taking a hit. If the emotion's positive, we're getting a boost. So the goal is to find out how we can tune into our emotions, use that awareness to go from anything that might be negative or stuck into a way that we can feel more expansive or more joyful or more loving, anything that makes us feel better. And saying that, sometimes the emotion that feels the best is relief, because it's a deep breath. It's saying, okay, I've gone from being angry to being maybe just a little frustrated. Or maybe I've gone from being a little frustrated to accepting the situation. Or, move your way up the scale. Relief helps you feel better. So, when we're going to talk about 10 ways to change your perspective instantly, they are questions you can ask yourself that instantaneously get you focusing from something negative in your life back to something positive. And in doing so, it automatically starts to neutralize any stress and get you going in a positive direction so you have more energy to do what it is that you have to do. So let's go down the top 10 questions to help you change your perspective in an instant. Number 1, what makes me happy? What makes you smile? What brings that light-hearted feeling to your inner being? I mean, what makes you joyful? Maybe it's watching your kids play sports. Maybe it's watching a funny movie. Maybe it's having a fresh bouquet of flowers. Maybe it's, hopping in your sports car and driving to work. It could be anything. What makes you happy? And you might even make a list as you're going through these. Number 2, what do I appreciate? And appreciation and love are very similar as far as vibrations or on the energy spectrum or the emotional spectrum. But appreciation is gratitude. What are you thankful for in your life? It could be as simple as the food that you get to eat. It could be the water that you're drinking. It could be something as big as even having a job in this economic climate. Whatever it is, what do you appreciate right now that starts to get you into that better feeling place? Number 3, who do I love? And in addition to answering this question, who do I love, who in your environment brings you a lot of joy? Who do you love being around? Maybe what pets do you love? There's a flip side to that coin. Who loves you? What other relationships are meaningful to you? What other people appreciate and love you? Because you're a very valuable individual, and it's nice to reflect not only on the love that you give, but the love that you're able to receive as well. Okay, number 4, and this is one of my favorites. It's what makes me laugh. I like to laugh. I've actually worked on my laugh over the years, so it's boisterous. It gets people looking around, but it's really just authentic. And laughing is such a great way to relieve stress. Laughter is the best medicine is an old adage. But what makes you laugh? In my case, when I watch movies and that guy's walking across the street, meandering, not paying attention, he gets hit by a car. He gets hit by a car on accident, and the body goes kind of flying. Very unrealistic. If you've been hit by a car, I'm really sorry. I'm not meaning to make fun of you in any way, shape, or form. I think thanks to my parents, I have kind of that sick sense of humor. But I get laughing when I watch people fall down or trip, and it's probably one of the most horrible things I can think of because I've been there. And I can actually think of a time I was riding my bike, holding a cup of coffee, probably not the smartest thing to do with a backpack, because I was in college at the time, and I was riding, and it was starting to rain, and the pedal on my bike got very slippery, and I actually slipped, and I went tumbling over on my bike, but I saved my coffee. And I looked up, and I looked around going, did anybody see that? Because I was laughing so hard at myself. So that being said, whether you're falling down or standing up or watching a movie or whatever, I highly recommend laughing. It's really, really good for the body and the mind and the soul. Okay, number 5. What are you excited about? What are you looking forward to in life? What is giving you that spark to get up every day? What makes you excited? Think about that. And then be as specific as you can when you answer that. It helps to spark the positive emotion within you. I think I'm on number 6. What are you doing to demonstrate generosity? We are as beings, as human beings, are meant to give. And give from the heart. Whether that's looking somebody in the eye as you're, checking out your groceries and you're saying hello to the clerk. Maybe it's giving a card to somebody. Maybe it's giving a really nice, solid handshake. Maybe it's giving a phone call to a family member or friend. How are you giving? It goes back to that, who do I love? It's more than just who do you love, but how are you expressing that love in your day-to-day existence? Number 7, how are you investing in your future? What are you doing today that might make tomorrow easier? What are you doing today that might make tomorrow more enjoyable or more productive or more exciting or more appreciative? What are you doing today to invest in goals that you have down the road? It's the choices we really make now that make a difference later. So what are you doing today to invest in your future? And hopefully there are things that it's not a grumbling, okay, I have to obligation kind of activity or, job that you have to do. But what are you doing that's positive? What makes you feel good that you're doing today about tomorrow? And put those things down. That's what gives you the boost. Number 8, this is also one of my favorites. What are you doing to continue learning? If you've read any of Dr. Amon's material about brain health, you can actually change the age of your brain. And actually, that's not getting older. You can change the age of your brain to get younger. And one of the concepts in doing that is learning. Maybe it's doing a crossword puzzle. Maybe it's learning something new on the job. Maybe it's, learning the tunes or the lyrics to the TV show that your kids watch. I'm sure you parents understand if you have little kids, you know the music of their favorite cartoons. But even something like that keeps your brain going. You're learning something new. And learning is really great for the emotional health as well as the mental health. Okay, number 9, ask yourself, is there someone I need to forgive? When we hold on to grudges or anger or blame, we again take the emotional hit. It's that negative end of the spectrum. But when you choose to recognize that you're still holding on to something, it starts to shift you into acceptance, which is neutral, and then it can take you into the step of forgiveness, which lightens the load on your heart and can help you not only improve your emotional health, but maybe even improve some relationships. It could be forgiving yourself, forgiving someone else, not necessarily condoning any actions, but saying, I forgive this for happening. I'm taking responsibility for my own life, and I'm ready to move forward. We have a great protocol called Forgive the Unforgivable. For any of you that say, well, how do I start forgiveness? Sometimes it can seem too big. But forgiveness, if even thinking about, is there someone I can forgive, that starts to move you in the right direction. Okay, and last but certainly not least, if I could improve my life today, what action would I take first? Now, while the first 9 questions ask you to tune into the emotional side, this one brings in some action. It's not just, what am I thinking about that changes my emotional state? It's saying, how can I take these emotions, these new positive emotions, and put them into action? And then it also includes some prioritizing. So it's not just making a list of maybe 100 things you feel like you want to do. Pick a couple, 1, 2, or 3 that you know that you can use and utilize and maybe give some time and attention to. That'll make a difference. And again, the choices you're making today really do affect your reality tomorrow. So thanks for listening, and enjoy checking in on what are these 10 ways that you can change your perspective instantly. I guarantee you it works, and I guarantee that you could do this exercise every day for the rest of your life and still find new answers. It's great, it's practical, and it's really easy. I mean, you could just shift your perspective in a matter of seconds. So why not? Pick a question, pick all 10, and start to change your perspective into a more positive sense of being today.